Welcome to Under Oath. Today on Under Oath, we have Phil Rosenthal, creator of Everybody Loves Raymond. I love his cooking shows. I love his food shows. And he's actually on tour right now, and he'll be at the Dr. Phillips Center in Orlando this weekend. How you doing, Phil?
I can't wait. I love Orlando. If you saw the Orlando episode, you know how much I love it. And I've been back a few times since then.
What's funny is before I got this interview, I saw it. I'm going, oh, I love this. And I was really chapped about seeing. I was going, let's go see this thing. So can't wait to see your show.
Oh, thank you. You'll come to the show. We'll meet. Make sure you say hi. Okay.
Sure. Perfect. Now, I got to tell you, I love everything about you. You go from this hit television show and then you go, you know what? I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to travel around. I'm going to eat. I'm going to have fun. How do you move from one to the other so seamlessly?
Oh, you make it sound so easy. Like that's all that happened. After I was done with Raymond, they just give me a travel show. I'm going to tell you, when you come to the show in Orlando, how many years it took me to get this show after the success of Raymond. Because you're switching lanes, right? They knew me as the writer of a sitcom, and now you want to host a travel show? Yet they weren't thrilled, my agents, with this idea. And the industry wasn't thrilled with it. So it took a long time to convince them that maybe this would be worth something.
Now, you guys ended the show a little early. You could have probably taken Raymond another season, 2 seasons, 3 seasons. You know, what gets into you where you go, you know what? I think I'm happy with what I've done.
Well, there's an old showbiz axiom. You want to get off the stage before somebody says, hey, you should get off the stage. And I was a great student of television, and I observed shows that stayed past their prime.
Yeah.
I don't want to speculate why, but I'm going to guess because, number one, they throw a lot of money at you to stay if you're successful. And 2, it's fun to do. Those are not the reasons to stay. You should stay because you still have many stories to tell. We felt we didn't have many more stories to tell after doing 210 stories, which is a lot of anything. And so we thought maybe the show will have a better legacy if we don't become lousy. And here we are celebrating 30 years of being on the air.
I really love that. And, you know, every time I hear something, when I hear something get to the 200th episode, you know, you wake up in the morning, you do the same thing you've done for the better part of 9 years.
Yes.
And you're going, you know, I don't know how much of this I have left in me. I want to do something else. What was that something else that you go, you know, this is what I really want to do?
Honestly, at first I thought, I guess I've been put on earth to make sitcoms. So another sitcom, we had one ready and nobody wanted it. And then I tried something else, nobody wanted it. And I said, what's going on? They said, well, the business has changed in the 9 years you're doing Raymond. They don't want that. They don't want that type of show anymore. I said, why not? Well, they like shows that are younger, hipper, edgier. So they want you to write something, just be more hip and edgy. I said, well, you got the right guy. I'm Mr. Hip and Edgy.
You know, as you get older, you look at what's hot now and you're going, wait, what is this? And you don't get it. And you're going, am I still available to tell stories? And you go, wait a minute, the people who love my stories are still alive. There's no reason I can't do it.
Let me say something that for your younger listeners and viewers. Okay, you ready? They're gonna love this. You ready? 6'7". You don't know what that means, do you?
I have no damn idea.
Me neither. Welcome to 2 old guys talking.
Yeah, we should go on tour together. 2 old guys. You know? We'd fill the room. You know. Now there's a huge difference between television, reality television, writing, in comparison to being on that stage. And you're on that stage for what, an hour, 2 hours?
Hour and a half, 2 hours, yeah.
And I assume you're alone.
We show a highlight reel of everybody. We show a highlight reel of Somebody Feed Phil, and then I come out with a different moderator, every town, usually someone local. My moderator in Orlando is Amy Drew Thompson, who writes for the Orlando Sentinel. She's the food critic and reviewer and champion of the Orlando food scene. I would credit Amy Drew with getting me to do an Orlando episode.
When you're trying to do the tour, a lot of people don't get it. They just think, okay, here are your dates. Here's the normal tour we do. I mean, how does that even come? We're playing Poughkeepsie today. I mean, how does that even fall into place?
I kind of tend to go where I'm wanted. And I've done this tour now for a few years, going around the world. And I love it as much as doing Somebody Feed Phil, because Somebody Feed Phil is really, yes, I like to eat and I like to see new places, but it's really about meeting people. And so at the live shows, I get to meet the people. You can buy a meet and greet with me, but also the second half of the show is Q&A with the audience. And we get everyone from little kids all the way up to dead people.
The same as our elections. It's amazing. I just think about the idea, because I do stand up and I'm on there for 55 minutes, and I know how hard that is. And I know afterwards I'm worn out, and everyone goes, "Do you love it?" I go, "Yeah, I love it, but I want to go to bed after I'm done." Or are you charged for the rest of the night? How does that work for you?
Oh no. After the show and the meet and greet and the trip home, yes, I'm ready for bed. Yes, I'm very old. Look at me.
I'm beginning to think something else, though. I think old 10 years ago, and even 10 years after that, it's the craziest thing, because when you think of the actors in Cocoon, what are they, late 40s? That was old back then. It seems crazy to me now, all the stuff we do now in comparison to, maybe 20 years ago, what we would be doing.
Yeah, I know. I guess 80 is the new 70.
I think that might apply. I think that might apply.
I'm not even there. So I feel like a kid still. I think that's why little kids like my show, because I remind them of a kid, because that's really how I feel.
You come off this ridiculously happy guy when you're traveling and everything else like that.
Yes, it's true.
And I've had to ask myself a couple times, when I'm on set, I'm this happy guy. Hey guys, and then when I'm off, I'm like going, I need to be alone. Do you ever have those moments where you're like going, I need those moments, or no, you're good?
No, I love people. I love being with people. It's everything to me is laughing with my friends or meeting new people. And now I have to say, because of the show, it's like this calling card to the world, where people come up to me and they know me. And I guess they wouldn't come up to me if they didn't like me. So they like me. And this is like, my joke is, it's amazing to wake up at this age and find yourself Taylor Swift.
I am so amused at the life I live now in comparison to what I did before. I'm an attorney. I get to do stand up. I host a show, and I'm going, what's next? And there's always, sure, let's do this. Let's take a shot and
say yes.
That I love that. The people always ask me, they go, how do you do all this? I say yes to everything.
That's it.
Now, how hard is it for you to say no is the question.
I'm not crazy. I'll say no to my brother when he wants me to jump in cold water. But you know what happens? He usually convinces me to do it in the show. And then I'm kind of happy that I did it, because, first of all, I lived. Second of all, I met a challenge. I was afraid to do it. And then I did it, and I'm still here. And so our biggest fear is the unknown, until you do the thing and then it's known. You may not like it, but you're not afraid anymore. So as the series has gone on for 8 seasons, I have become naturally a little bit braver in life.
I mean, I think that works out. I mean, I was in the Army a long time ago. I jumped out of airplanes a year ago. Wow. Somebody goes, "Do you want to jump out of an airplane?" I goes, "No." He goes, "Well, could you do it for me?" And I did it solely because I wanted to remember who I was 30 years ago.
And were you frightened, or were you like, I don't enjoy this so much, but at least I'm not terrified?
No, I remember how I felt stupid. I really did. I said, this is the dumbest thing. There is zero purpose for me to do this other than me to prove to myself that I can do it. And I'm sitting there going, I'm going to break something. I was completely, absolutely positive I was going to break something, but I was fine with it. I go, well, let's hope it's not too big. And it's just a stupid way of thinking.
So your advice is be a little stupid sometimes.
You have to be a little stupid because what are you going to do? I'm going to be death scrolling all night or being around people and enjoying their company and laughing with stand-ups.
Well, you're braver than me because I am not jumping out of an airplane.
Well, my stupidity has no bounds sometimes, so I think that's the way it works. But my producer and I were talking before you came on, and we were talking about Groundhog's Day for some reason, and he was going, "I would hate that." I said, "I'd love that. I'd learn all these things, And I was thinking, and then I thought about it. I said, "I wonder if you put Phil in that position, what would be the most important thing he would do?"
Wow, it's funny. I think I would learn a lot having to relive the same day over and over. But then at a certain point, even in that movie, he reaches some epiphany and is able to go to the next day. And I would hope that would happen with me, and you could even extend this to life on Earth, right?
Yeah.
We hope to, I'm not a very spiritual or even religious person, but wouldn't it be nice if there was more after this? That'd be nice.
More would work for me. I mean, I think a lot of people ask, they go, well, as you're getting older and everything else, it's the Christmas lights that bother me. It's how quick the Christmas lights keep popping up.
Oh, that's
and I'm
funny.
like, God, the Christmas lights are back. And they're chasing me. I think the Christmas lights chase me every year where I'm going, oh, did I do enough this year? And it just keeps moving. But as an expert, I'm going to do the selfish thing right now. And I'm going to ask favorite restaurants and favorite cities. And I know you get asked this all the time.
It's hard.
I'm going to start off Vegas. Favorite restaurant in Vegas?
I just went to, again, for I think the third or fourth time, the China Club at the Fontainebleau, which is a high-end Chinese restaurant. It's China spelt with a Y. But it's like the best Peking duck, incredible, really great versions of Chinese food classics done with the best possible ingredients and just it's sensational. But I also, on the other end of the spectrum, I love a Mexican restaurant there called Milpa, Milpa. So good. 15 minutes off the strip where, just like Orlando, some of the best food is outside the touristy part of your city, right? Because why? Immigrants have come and built and maintained these giant tourist attractions for decades, and they've set up their communities and, of course, brought their cultures and cuisines with them. And to me, this is what makes America great.
I love the idea. When I go to Vegas, I always eat off the strip. Very rarely do I eat at the hotels because, they have a great Asian area out there.
Yes, they do. I had hand-pulled noodles in the back of a supermarket. That was unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
Yes.
But here's the tough thing, and I say this to people all the time. I said, the more money you make, the more successful you have, the harder it is for you to have a favorite restaurant because you've already eaten everywhere you want to eat. So you always have to go somewhere far from you to have that perfect meal. So where is the perfect meal? I said, you got the jet. You're on the strip. Go wherever you want to go.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you, and this is not a shameless plug, but we're opening a diner in LA because I love diners, and I feel like they're disappearing from America.
Yeah.
And I named it after my parents. It's called Max and Helen's, and it's opening in a couple of weeks. I'm almost sad that I'm on tour as we're testing it out on friends and family in these couple of weeks because I love it so much. I feel like I built my retirement home. It's diner classics made by a phenomenal chef named Nancy Silverton, who also lives in our neighborhood. And when I told her this idea of just a great version of a diner, nothing fancy, just using great ingredients and the talent of a chef who knows how to cook them, the best bacon and eggs, the best waffle, the best French toast, the best tuna melt, the best patty melt, the best burger, the best malteds and ice cream sundaes and banana splits, the food of our youth. It's like that ratatouille moment where the critic eats the ratatouille, zooms back to childhood. That's what I'm looking for. This is now my favorite restaurant.
There you go. I
want to eat there every day, right now. Maybe it'll change in a year or so, but right now, that's where I want to be.
You mentioned something right there that just brought something to my mind. When you have so many things on your plate and you're going, I
Yeah.
want to be here, but I'm scheduled to
Yes.
be here. I'm scheduled to be here.
Yes.
And we talked
Yes.
about saying no. And,
Yes.
what's it? Master of none. And the line is
Yes.
wrong.
Yes.
It's an absolute,
Yes.
the line is
Yes.
actually messed up. It's the other way around. But the idea of going, okay, I'm doing 4,000 things. Do I have time to do one thing great? And that's hard.
It is hard. Woody Allen said, "You can't ride two horses with one behind."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But so if you're in a lucky position like me, what do? You delegate.
Yeah.
So I have really great people who are taking care of the diner. I have really great people who are in charge of my publicity for, let's say, the cookbook that just came out, right? I have really great people who are booking me on the tour. So all I have to do is kind of monitor what's going on, check in with them, ask them every day, how's it going? Right?
Right.
Let's fix this, let's fix that. I can help you, but you're running it. And I'm doing this right
Trust.
now. My main obligation right now is to publicize our cookbook because I want that to sell well, because all my proceeds go to ALS, which is what my mom passed from.
Yeah.
And that's part of the job. You write the book so that people will enjoy it. So this is part of that job. Do I mind doing it? No, I love talking to you. I love talking to everybody I'm talking to today. It's really nice to have anyone interested in what you're doing enough to put you on their podcast or their radio show. So nice. So here's the thing. I'm the luckiest guy you're ever going to see.
I hear that, and I think anybody who's achieved a certain amount of success, they have to have a certain amount of appreciation. And you mentioned something about delegation. And for
Yes.
me, I'm a creative. I say, listen, I got to play to my strengths, so I need to surround myself with people who can actually do this that I can't do well. What do you
Yes.
think you don't do well?
I can't cook. Yeah, but people say to me, "You can't cook and you have this food thing?" Yeah, I meet a lot of great chefs in the world. They can't write a sitcom.
I like that.
So we
I
all
like
we
that.
all contribute in our way. And chefs like me. Why? Because I love them. My family and I support the arts in school, arts education. So important. A lot of people think arts that's disposable. We don't need that. They don't even realize it's the answer. That people with arts education, they think better in the things the other guys pretend to care about, like math and science. If your brain is working creatively, you're solving the math problem too.
Creativity with options. That's always the thing. When people say, I said, well, why don't think outside the box? Anytime we have a problem, I'll come up with a solution. Look, where did that come from? It comes from a creative area where you don't see
That's right.
no in things. You're going, oh, this would be cool. I remember this movie where this worked.
That's right.
I mean, it's what everybody wants to say no. We have a minute left, and you've heard no a bunch in your life, especially after you got done doing something great. And they're going, well, you should just be happy with this.
That's right.
How
That's
hard
right.
is it to keep fighting and go, you know what? I don't have to listen to you. This is what I want to do.
I'm not going to lie and say it's not hard. Of course it's hard. But here's what I found. If you make something a priority in your life, you simply won't stop until it's done. The moment you do stop, you have to realize, I guess it wasn't a priority. So when you hear the number of years that it took me to get Somebody Feed Phil on the air, you're going to say, I guess he made that a priority in his life. It's not that he didn't do other things along the way, but I kept that goal in mind. And it's very important to have a goal and go for it. Now, does that mean that if something else pops up in your life and that becomes your new priority, you shouldn't follow that? Yes, you should follow that because now that's your priority. But don't just give up so easy, I guess is the message, right?
Right.
Anything worth having is worth fighting for.
Well, I really love that, Phil. I think you're inspiration. I think anybody who's sitting on their couch going, why not me, should go, why not me? So I appreciate it, Phil.
It's my absolute pleasure. Keep in mind, Even after the success of Raymond, even you thought, well, it just gave you a travel show because you're the Raymond guy. No.
Well, I appreciate that, Phil, and I look forward to talking to you and seeing your show. Be well, my friend.